Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, all of my beautiful friends from all across the vast reaches of the internet. I hope each and every single one of you is doing absolutely fantastic on this fine Tuesday morning, or whenever you happen to be listening to this podcast episode, whether that be morning, evening, or into the night. Welcome to the Reddit Asks Us podcast, the podcast where we read and react to comments from r/AskReddit. If you're listening to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else you get your podcasts, please leave us a rating and also leave us a review. It does help out the show so immensely much. So if you go ahead and do that, I would be eternally grateful. And I mean eternally grateful. I will visit you in your dreams, and your children's dreams perpetually, and be fighting off evil spirits and, Sauron, if he's around, if that happens by chance. I'll be there. With the Sword of Kings to fight him off. So I just literally watched Lord of the Rings for the first time this past week. So I know I'm a little bit late to the game, unfortunately, but it was awesome. So please leave us a rating and also leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It does help us out so much, so please go ahead and do that. Remember, you can answer this week's question or respond to the episode, maybe something you thought was funny or interesting, or reading off maybe your own response or your own comment. If you searched Reddit and you found this question and you wanted to look it up, you can go ahead and do that, and you can comment on this week's episode by going to the description of the episode in Spotify and commenting there down below. So, with that said, we do a Would You Rather. We do a poll every single week, which actually I should probably bring up right about now because I forgot to bring it up beforehand. So my bad, folks. There's always one thing that I forget when I'm doing this podcast. Okay, here we go, folks. We're gonna read this off. So last week's Would You Rather is: would you rather be in a prison cell until you can eat a candy version of yourself, anatomically correct and all, or be only allowed indoors for 4 hours a day for a year? So we had a landslide with eating yourself in candy or the 4 hours a day. So, I guess this one also comes up to personal preference. One of my best buddies, my old roommate, shout out to Keaton, is a rather fairly large individual. So I'm not exactly sure what he would say on this one, but because he is 6'7", and he's got some meat on his bones. He's not like a stick guy. He's not a stick figure. He's not a stick kind of guy. He's a built kind of dude. So I don't know if he's gonna have the most success with eating himself in candy. It literally might take him a year to do that. So with the overwhelming landslide, we have eat myself in candy. 80 to 20 people said eat myself in candy, which is, I don't know, I guess it's up to personal preference. I'd really be curious to know who said 4 hours indoor, because there was only one person who said that. I'd really be curious to know why you chose that option and not the right option like everybody else, because now I'm going to find you and I will kill you. So, yeah, there was a right and wrong answer, by the way, for this. So, I just want to let you know, if you're new to the podcast, if you're listening, if you choose the wrong answer, I will find you and I will kill you. So, that is just all part of the fun and games about being a fan of the show, about tuning into the show. There's always a little bit of risk involved, Because what's fun? What's the fun in doing anything if there's not a little bit of risk? Ooh, I'm doing a Would You Rather. Oh, this is all fun and games. Boom, your head's blown off. Boom, you didn't even see it coming. I did it mafia style, bro. Mafia style. You hop in your car, I'm right there behind, bro. And then me and my buddies, we're digging a ditch. Okay? Or we're digging in the ditch or something from Goodfellas. Just picture Goodfellas in your mind. Or Casino. If you haven't seen either of those movies, you should watch them, but it's not an easy watch. I'll let you know. I mean, they're good. They're great movies, but apparently the mafia lifestyle is one not of peace and tranquility. I don't know if you know too much about the Italian mafia or the mob, but it doesn't tend to be a lot of when things get down to the nitty-gritty, doesn't tend to be very diplomatic, you know? It tends to be kind of a little bit cutthroat. And that is not a metaphor. So, last week's question was, when did you realize you were dating a degenerate? I realize whenever I do dating questions, there doesn't tend to be as many responses. I understand some of my fans and listeners are a little bit younger, or just people don't have partners. I don't have a partner. So, I can see why, it's, I mean, you don't have to talk about maybe well, I hope you're still not dating a degenerate. Yeah, my husband, is a complete degenerate. Yeah, my husband, he just comes home dirty all the time. Doesn't explain why. He just walks in the door, just full of dirt and just rolls all over the floor. My husband's a dog. My husband is a dog. Okay. So, yeah, first one comes from a small fry. For the main question, I don't have an answer. If anything, I'm the degenerate. Well, why are you the degenerate, small fry? You got to tell us why. What do you do? And for the would you rather, I eat a candy version of myself as a baby. So light work. You can't do that. Anatomically correct. You have to do it now. You can't do that as a baby. And also, that seems more wrong than doing it as an adult. I don't know why, but something about eating myself as a baby seems weird to me. So you might have lost on weird points alone, a small fry. Next one comes from Phil Savannah. What's going on, Phil? We got into an argument and they calmly said, "Don't worry, I forgive you. You'll learn." But wait, what? So we're dating a degenerate. But my best example of, yeah, she was such a degenerate. She was so kind and understanding. It's fucking whack, bro. She was absolutely degenerate. She had this thing called empathy. Like, what the hell is that? Like, okay, your grandfather died. Oh my God, you were so close with him. He was like your father. Taught you everything you know. Get over it. Okay? Literally get over it. He's gone and dead. Literally died. Literally deceased. In the ground. 6 feet under. Boom, bang, bomb. Box. Dead. Done. I don't understand. It's Tuesday. Can we talk about something else? For once. It's like, just happened. Like, yesterday. The funeral hasn't even happened. Did you put him in the ground already? Yeah, dude, I literally expedited the process. You were complaining about it so much, so I'm like, fine, I'll fucking bury him. Oh, the tangents on this show. But my best example is one who got mad at me over something I did in her dream. That is definitely degen material. I had to shut down that pretty quick. You're allowed to feel weird about a dream, but don't get mad at me over your own subconscious. For the would you rather, being in the cell for 2 weeks wouldn't be absolutely awful. Being in a prison with murderers is what would suck. Plus, I can eat some candy. It's too hot. It's too hot here to be outside. Yeah, I guess if you are living in Savannah, Georgia, it's got to be super hot out there. Let's check the temperature of Savannah, Georgia right now. Temp of Savannah. By the way, Phil Savannah, I don't know if you've ever I don't know if I've ever said this, but my roommate and other best friend, I call everybody my best friend. Everyone's my best friend. I don't like saying like that I have one best friend. You're not allowed to have one best friend. I have multiple best friends. So, my roommate / best friend, Sam, he's been to Savannah, and he says it's absolutely gorgeous. It's wonderful. It is an amazing little place. I've never been, but I've only ever heard really good things. So, it is about, what are we looking at here? Wow. Okay, sheesh. You got a high of 37 today. That is hot. That is definitely very hot. I'm trying to think. Yeah, you're definitely in the mid-30s, which, as a Canadian, I'd use Celsius because why the fuck would I use Fahrenheit? Fahrenheit does not make any fucking sense. Fahrenheit is like, I think Fahrenheit is like the freezing point of seawater, which is like, I understand that's like the most water on Earth, but it's not the water that we use or is relevant at all. Like, we use it to be in, like, to sail our boats, but like all the water that's actually genuinely useful to us is fresh water. It's the water we drink. We need it. If we didn't have we would not be able to live if there was only seawater on this planet. we need fresh water to survive fundamentally. So I'm going with Celsius on this one, guys. Celsius by a landslide. But if in case you are American, like my American listeners, shout out to my American friends, 99 degrees seems very hot to me. I mean, if I know what that is, I guess I can always put like 100 degrees is what? Probably like 38 degrees Celsius. So that's definitely very hot. So if my benchmark is 100 degrees, that being like 38, that's really hot. So you have a high of 99. Throughout the week, it's like 99 through 94 to 97, 96. It's pretty hot, man. But okay. I can't believe I've never done this on this podcast before. But Savannah, Georgia, founded in 1733. How many people live there, though? I want to know what the population is. 147,000. Okay, that's a small city. I always have like a weird benchmarks for things people call cities and towns, because being from Canada, like especially being from the province of Saskatchewan, it's really weird because I would say where I grew up is a small city, a very small city, but everybody else apparently from anywhere in the world goes. You think that's a fucking. You think that's a fucking. Oh, you fucking stupid! That's what I say to you, fucking idiot. It's like, holy shit, man. Okay, jeez. I was raised in a town of 1,200 people. Okay, in the middle of nowhere, Saskatchewan. Okay, like when I moved to the city where I'm from, like, you know, a younger age, I considered that a city because it was bigger than any place I'd lived. So I grew up in a town of 1,200. The town where I'm from is about 35,000 people to about 38,000. Actually, it's grown a bit. 38,000 people. Okay. And that to me, there's like mostly everything. But the city closest, and is our capital city of Regina. Yes, you heard that correctly. Regina, Saskatchewan. You should watch Deadpool if you haven't. We got a shout out. That's about 230,000 people. So 147,000. That's, you know, it's like, you know, whatever, half the size or something. It's like that's quaint. It's nice. That seems like a pretty nice place to live. Anyways, I'm going on a massive rant here about Savannah, Georgia, but I can't believe I've never looked this up. Or said this on the podcast because Phil is such a day one out here. And then Vortex is our last comment, and Vortex just has like a emoji of somebody getting a head massage, which I don't know if that's like you saying that this is like a soothing experience for you, or that you're having a very relaxing time listening to this podcast. I bet after I just had a complete meltdown episode right there, maybe if you were I know a lot of people listen to this as they go to sleep, which is just funny, but which is nice. I'm glad to know that I put you to bed. I rock-a-bye baby you guys to bed. But after I just had that episode, I don't know if I probably woke up a couple of you folks. Okay, we are going to go into a quick break, and then we're going to come back with... oh, no, sorry. We have to read out this week's Would You Rather. Oh, my God, I'm stupid. Okay, this is a fun one. Would you rather become completely hairless or lose your sense of smell? So you could become completely hairless. You know, I've actually known some people like this. I used to play basketball and football with a guy who had some kind of alopecia, like I'm not exactly sure like what it's called, but it's like this genetic kind of thing. And he had no hair on his head, no hair on his eyebrows, I don't even know if this guy had eyelashes. Like he's absolutely completely hairless. He was a nice kid though. He's a nice guy. He was a cool dude. So, very chill guy. But yeah, so would you rather be completely hairless or lose your sense of smell? So fester on that one, won't you, folks? And then we're going to hop into this week's episode. Welcome back, everybody, to the Reddit Asks Us podcast. So we're going to hop right in with this week's episode. This is a fun one because this is something I feel like all parents do. And I'm sure at some point we are going to do it as well when we become parents, or if we become parents. If and or when we become parents. Can munch on that for a while, figure out what I'm trying to say, decipher that for a second. As you can clearly see from the episode title, what's a harmless lie your parents told you that low-key messed you up? Let's pump the brake. Let's pump the brakes here. Maybe not messed me up, because I feel like my parents told me many things as a child that I don't know if they messed me up, but like there was some ones where I'm thinking back to now as an adult being like, okay, that's definitely not true. Like, I had a couple in mind. Like, I remember, I don't know if this is true. This actually might be true. But, and if Mom, if you're listening to this, these will resonate. My parents told my sister and I, it always came from my mom. My dad was never the liar in this. He kind of left the creativity up to my mom. And every time we were doing something my parents didn't like, he was like, "Oh, Michelle, it's your turn to figure out how to lie to these kids, and scare them." But she's pretty good. She's creative. That if we sucked our thumb, we were gonna get buck teeth. That was a buck tooth. That's kind of what she used to say. You're gonna stick your thumb in your mouth. You're gonna get buck teeth. You're gonna get some buck teeth. That's kind of how it used to be said. Which I don't know why the accent was there. Maybe it's just the way you say buck in like a book. That sounds like brain rot. The way you say buck in like a southern accent. But that was one. My sister always has the one about. My sister said my parents told if you eat in bed, then ants are gonna come and crawl inside your ears and lay eggs in there or nest in your ears and get inside your brain. That was a classic one, which I don't know why my parents told my sister that, because I feel like I was definitely worse at eating in bed than Elena ever was. But, which probably explains why I have ants in my ears. Guys, guess I just figured it out. Guess I just cracked the motherfucking code. But I'm trying to think of some other ones. There was one I just had before I came on the show. I should have written it down. But anyways, every parent tells their children a couple white lies, whatever these are, the little deceptive lies to get them to stop doing stuff. First one comes from Edith Wharton Farts. Okay. My dad was named after my grandmother's brother and had died shortly after. Sorry. My dad was named after my grandmother's brother that had died shortly before he was born. I was always told this, and it seemed perfectly harmless. Later in life, I learned that my grandmother had a sort of mental breakdown, and she thought that my dad was her brother reincarnated. She not only named him the same name, but dressed him in his clothes, and referred to him as brother. In fact, her nickname for him my whole family life was Brother. It kind of messed me up, and I never really saw my grandmother, or my dad for that matter, the same. I had so much more sympathy for my dad and some of his oddness. I can't be raised that way and not be a wee bit odd. Yeah, your dad was smoking a pipe at like 8 years old. She was teaching him how to chuff on a pipe, and she's like, "You know how to do this. You know how to do this, Gerald. Come on. You are a pipe master. You have been chiefing and chuffing on that pipe since the early days. Since back when? Since the Depression. You've been chiefing and choffing on that pipe of yours. Don't act like you don't know what you're doing." Mom. I can't do it, Mom. I'm gonna puke. I can't do it. You were never a quitter, Gerald. Stop, you little silly goose. All right, now smoke the rest of this tobacco because I bought it all for you. I planted those tobacco plants in the backyard just for you, just so that you could connect with your inner and true self. It's like, Mom, I don't want to do it. I think I'm gonna die. It's like, yeah, that's why my dad passed away from cancer. Yeah, at 25. Yes, shortly thereafter I was born, he died from cancer because my grandmother forced him to drink hard liquor and smoke from a pipe every day as a child, because that was where Grandpa Gerald's great uncle Gerald's habits, man. He was just a man of his habits. Back in those days. That was when they were drinking Coca-Cola with cocaine in it. So she actually used to cut my dad's Coca-Cola with cocaine. Just because that's the way they used to do it back in the day. And that's the way Gerald liked it. He didn't like all this fancy schmancy aspartame and sugar and refined corn syrup and all this stuff. No, let's get back to basic. Let's get back to raw cocaine, raw ingredients. Just what makes us get up in the morning, okay? Caffeine? What kind of pussy shit is caffeine? All right? Caffeine has nothing on cocaine. All right? Have you ever heard of caffeine? It wakes me up. Makes me feel more energized. Have you ever heard of cocaine? Have you ever heard of crack cocaine? Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. It's got nothing on coffee, bro. Every time I think about... My roommate Sam is just obsessed with coffee. I'm like, dude, you ever tried Coke? Like, you ever just done a line of Coke in the morning instead? It's way better, dude. I'm not condoning drug use. Please, I'm not condoning drug use. I would never use cocaine. Please don't ever use cocaine. I hate that I have to say that, but I do have to put that disclaimer out here, even because we're just joking around and we're just having fun. But yeah, please, if it didn't become apparently obvious, do not do cocaine. Do not cut your Coca-Cola with cocaine just because you want to have some nostalgia for back in the day. But yeah, he was wearing sweater vests, at 2 and never stopped. He's wearing suspenders. That's kind of what he was doing. It's like, Gerald, where are your glasses? You need glasses. Mom, you've ruined my vision because you've given me glasses and my eyesight is perfectly fine. I can't see anymore because you fucked up my vision. Now I have to use glasses. But no, the doctor said all the time growing up that I didn't need glasses and I probably never would. But thanks for that, Mom. That's crazy to just think you're the reincarnation. Like, just because, it's like, well, they look exactly the same. Well, maybe that's because they're directly fucking genetically related. Maybe that's because he's your son and you have a brother. Okay, my sister looks so much like my dad's sister. I don't think that she's the reincarnation. Because my dad's sister, get this, is still alive and healthy. She's not even the carnation. Okay, we're not reeing up on carnations here. I highly doubt that was the situation. I think it's not so much, the what is it called? Psychic nature of it all, I think it's more so the fact that it's basic genetics, basic biology, kind of would fill in the gaps there for you. Reply from Engineering Regret. My brother's mother-in-law my brother's mother-in-law tried to gain custody of her grandson, my nephew, because a psychic told her that he was the reincarnation of her stillborn son. Checks out, man. Checks out. Well, actually, I need to have that child of yours. Yeah, that's kind of my kid. It's like you had no part in the, creation of this child other than a very small, distant bit. But you know what? It's right there on the court order. Psychic says so. The psychic literally told me. Excuse me, Your Honor. My psychic literally told me that's my son. My psychic literally told me that that's my stillborn son. So if you could just hand the child over, we could just... Well, this is just paperwork. Why am I in this courtroom? Why am I in handcuffs? Why am I being potentially sentenced to 15 years in prison for kidnapping a child? Like, what? Can we get down to brass frickin' tacks here? And just, whatever, hand me over the kid and let's get this done. I mean, do I have to bring in my psychic to testify? She's really busy, okay? She's probably in the third realm right now. She's working on her realmology, right? She's got an appointment, with the Archangel Gabriel. It's a whole ordeal, okay, that she's dealing with. I mean, I don't want to bother her, okay? She's trying to figure out how to solve the conflict in Isthistador, in the eighth realm. But she's on her third realm shit right now. She's on her third realm shit. So eighth realm is, I don't know if you know too much about realms, but that's It's quite a few realms above. All right, the third realm and eighth realm, they're far. Okay, there's some distance there. So you can't expect her to be, oh yeah, like I'm just gonna hop into the eighth realm right now. I'm just gonna transcend into the eighth realm right. Are you fucking kidding me, Your Honor? This is bullshit. Okay, we need to give her space and time. Sooner or later, you know, she'll get things figured out. She'll get me my son back to me. It's like, yeah, I don't think prison is gonna do this one. I think psychiatric facility might be a better option here. Next one comes from Forgetful Aiju, and that's not what you think it is. AIJU, okay? We're not being anti-Semitic on the show. Mr. Yuck lives in the cabinet underneath the kitchen sink, and if we were to ever open the cabinet, he would eat us. I was terrified of that cabinet for years. Eventually, I realized that the household cleaners were all kept under the sink, hence Mr. Yuck to keep us away and safe. Mr. Yuck. My dad used to do something similar. He used to just draw massive skulls and bones and just write in really big letters all across. Because my dad works a lot. Well, maybe not much anymore, but when I was a kid, he worked a lot with chemicals and stuff. Just mostly as a hobby. I maybe some aspect of it was for his job. I don't really know, but I know he used to work a lot with chemicals. It's always kind of been a hobby of his. And he used to have a bunch of chemicals lying around the house, like, yeah, just lying around, you know, over the floor. You know, I'd chew on the chemical caps and stuff, and you know, there were just bottles of sulfuric acid. You know, that's what I played with as a child. All these kids nowadays, they want Xbox, PS4. How about a bottle of sulfuric acid? Okay, how about a little bottle of arsenic? Why don't we play around with that? All right, kids these days are such sissies. Okay, how about we get real? How about we introduce some real danger into these children's lives and, you know, play around with some battery acid? Okay, that's what I did as a kid, and I turned out totally anyone else lightheaded. Now half of my face is droopy, but that's a different reason. Anyways, but yeah, he used to just draw very graphic images on bottles, being like, death, will die, will, if consumed, will meet your inevitable demise. That was very common around my house, but it definitely, I think kept me away. But I don't think I was a child that was too curious about like things in strange, you know, bottles and stuff. It wasn't really something that piqued my curiosity. You know, it wasn't. I know some kids were, you know, that whole Tide Pod stuff, which, to be fair, Tide Pods, they do look appetizing, okay? They look exactly like candy. They're all colorful and swirly. Tell me how that's any difference from, like, what are those, like, candies with the red, white swirls? Those, like, strawberry things. Anyways, grandma candy. It looks like fucking grandma candy. It's exactly what my grandparents used to bring for us when we were children. Tide Pod looks an awful lot like that, you know? Make it a weird color. Make it like brown or something. Some shit that people don't want to, like, ew, I don't want to eat that. Okay, what was I going to say about this? Yeah, Mr. Yuck lives in the cabinet under the kitchen sink. If we were to ever open the cabinet, he would eat you. I was terrified of the cabinet freeze. Eventually there was a household cleaners. Yeah, that's why yeah. It just makes me think like imagine if that's just why you don't clean the house. You just have like a terrible like existential fear now of cleaning products. You know, that you're just gonna be the worst boyfriend ever because you're just terrified of cleaning the house. It's like, yeah, Jacob, it's getting extremely dirty in here. Okay, this is border level like hazardous. This is your apartment is disgusting. It's like, nice fucking try. Nice try. Okay, I know Mr. Yuck is under the fucking sink, okay? And he comes out, he's gonna bite my freaking face off. You think you're gonna play me for a goddamn fool, Jennifer? You think you're gonna play me for a freaking idiot? You think I'm stupid? You think, oh yeah, let me just open up the cabinet and Mr. Yuck is gonna be there? And what, he's just gonna give me a freaking high five? You think he's gonna dap me up like we're bros or something? He's been my arch nemesis since I was literally born and crawling around. Okay? I'm not some kind of imbecile. I'm not touching cleaning products. Dawn dish. You seriously? What about Dawn? Well, drop a Dawn and grease is gone. How about drop a Dawn and my life is gone? How about drop a Dawn and my very existence is incinerated from this planet and I get eaten alive? How about, oh yeah, drop a Dawn and Dawn is a cannibal? Who told you that? Whoever decided to drop that bomb on you. Oh yeah, Dawn, he's your good friend, Dawn. Oh yeah, Dawn's so nice. Yeah, until Dawn eats your freaking face off. Like Hannibal Lecter, cuts it off and wears it as his own freaking face. Yeah, nice try. It's like, yeah, you died from dysentery. You died from like an infection. Like the smallest like toe infection. You stubbed your toe, got an infection and died because you refused to clean your own wounds. Next one comes from Namaz. Or Namah. That if I ate a hot dog, I would die. What the fuck? That is so extreme. If you ate a hot dog, you would die? It was like not like, oh, if you ate a hot dog, like, you know, hot dogs are dirty. You're gonna get sick. Everyone gets sick after they eat hot dogs. That you're gonna die? It's like such a benign food. A hot dog? It's so meh. It's not even like it's a scary food. It's like, yeah, if you, by the way, yeah, son, if you eat ice cream, your skin will start melting off its body. Yeah, literally from the bone. Yeah. It's actually, it's literally like acid. You might as well just pour acid all over your body and watch it melt. You ever seen Indiana Jones? You know, when the Nazis' faces are melting and all that. So yeah, that's what happens if you lick ice cream. Yeah, everyone else, yeah, they have a tolerance for it. But you, yeah, I knew as soon as you came out the womb, ice cream was not for you. Okay, I'm looking out for you. It's Daddy. Daddy's looking out for you. Okay, Daddy doesn't want to see you burn alive and have an excruciatingly painful melting to a pile of human sludge death. Do I now? No. So that's why you're not going to eat any fucking ice cream. That's fucking intense, dude. Your dad is like, oh yeah. Make sure you pack sunscreen. Make sure you have closed-toe shoes because open sandals, not a great idea. And, oh yeah, remember, if you eat a hot dog, you're gonna suffer your inevitable demise. You're gonna die an excruciatingly painful death if you eat a hot dog. By the way, just looking out for you. My dad didn't want me to choke and die, so he told me I was terribly allergic. It wasn't a big deal until I went to my first sleepover and I ate a hot dog and told my friend I was happy it was gonna end like this. It's so dramatic that I had a lot of fun on my last day. You just accepted it, bro. You literally couldn't get through life without eating a hot dog, so you just folded immediately. I tried to commit suicide via hot dog, and I scared the shit out of my friend and her entire family when I was probably 6 or 7. You literally couldn't resist the hot dog so bad that you just were like, fuck it. This is how I go out. If this is gonna be the way, this is gonna be the way. Guys, it was really nice knowing you, but I appreciate everything you guys have done for me, but I'm going to eat this hot dog now, and there's no going back. There's no turning back after this moment, so I want to let you guys know it was fun while it lasted. I had a great time. That's crazy, bro. That is... I can't believe you just terrified everybody like that, but you do have to admit, though, you folded immediately. Like I said, I've been allergic my entire life. Deathly allergic to peanuts. And peanut butter and nuts and everyone. Not even just peanuts, all nuts. You know, I've actually had multiple death scares. You wouldn't think that would happen in my life, but yeah, it has happened a few times where I've almost died. Not intentionally, though. It wasn't where I was like, today's, man, I'm just having a bad day, man. Having a bad day. Football practice didn't go super well, so I guess I'm going to eat this handful of nuts and kill myself. You know, it wasn't that dramatic. It was all unintentional. But I've never thought to myself once in my life where listen, I crave the smell of peanut butter. The smell of peanut butter is one of the most blissful, aromas that I could possibly experience in my life. Salted nuts, anything that has to do with nuts, really, I have an affinity towards. But I've never been able to eat them, and I never will. I literally never will. But I don't think I'm ever going to fold. I don't think, unless I'm in excruciating pain and it's like lasting extremely long, I'm just going to get my, sister or something and just feed me a peanut butter sandwich or something. Just be like, or just trick the nurse and just be like, yeah, give me a peanut butter sandwich, by the way. And leave me alone for like an hour. Find me suffocated and dead. But I don't think I would fold that quickly. I haven't so far yet, but I don't know. It's like the smell of peanut butter is one of those things where I'm like, well, guys, it was nice knowing you. I think I'm gonna eat this peanut butter now. I just can't resist. This was fun. This was a great time. I really enjoyed making all these friends, and y'all stuck by my side, and this is the best friends I could ask for. But guys, I just can't resist anymore. Can't resist. Going all down the toilet now. All this conscious experience I've had on this planet, none of it's ever gonna compare to eating peanut butter. So here it goes, and I'll see you guys on the other side. It's like, wow, you didn't even try to fight it, man. You didn't cry or anything. You were just like, this is how I go out. And I'm fucking happy about it. I'm fucking stoked, man. I can't wait till the day that I eat a hot dog and kill myself. Oh, God. Okay, next one comes from Content Effort 5307. My mom told me when I was maybe 9 that she would just know when I lost my virginity. What the fuck? And it made me paranoid as hell about her being able to sense things about me without telling her. Dude, what the actual fuck? Why is your mom telling you that at 9 years old? If my mom said to me at 9 years old, I know when you're going to lose your virginity, I'd be like, what the fuck is that? What the hell is that? 9 years old? I was in what? Grade 3? Grade 3? Bro, come on, dude. In grade 3, I didn't know up from down. Okay? I think that's when I realized that I was attracted to girls, is in grade 3. If you would have told me about, like, anything beyond that, I would have been, like, horrified. Horrified. It's like, yeah, you actually do more when you're attracted to women. Like what? Like what? Just, like, you guys get to play, like, Battleship together and shit? That's fucking sick, dude. I can't wait for that. It's like, no. You guys play imaginary battles together? Dude, that is freaking awesome. Imaginary Star Wars? You guys play imaginary Star Wars together. I never thought it was possible. Holy shit. Like, I was barely aware of anyone but myself at the age of 9 years old. Like, I seriously would not have comprehended that. That is such a weird thing to say to your child. It's like, yeah, my 9-year-old son, I'm going to know when you do it. Do what? And if you described to me what you like were telling me that you knew that I was going to do, I would probably never do it. Not because I'm like worried you're going to find out, but because I'm horrified at the thought of that image. That image is enough to have turned me off for life. I think actually, like, if we're going a little TMI here, folks, I remember when I was, I don't know, it was probably a 10 or 11, somewhere around there, 10 or 11. I was hanging out with my friends, and they were watching some graphic material online, and they were showing it to me, and I thought it was violence. And, like, looking back, it was, it's graphic, but it wasn't like, we weren't dealing with some bondage type BDSM scenario here, okay? It was, graphic, but it wasn't like anything insane. But I remember looking at that and thinking that someone was dying, thinking that something was gravely very wrong about what was happening, and that someone was about to die. That was like, wow, I've heard of guns and deaths, and I've watched Star Wars and all this stuff, but I've never seen anybody die like that. That seems horrible. That seems like an awful way to die. I thought it was like some medieval torture. I was like, this is... I've heard about being drawn and quartered, and being hung from the neck, but this seems awfully personal. So that was my first experience seeing anything visual like that. I was very horrified. I never wanted to see it ever again. Let's see. Next one comes from Mr. Soap 105. Not a parent, but my older brother said he saw the Easter Bunny come in to drop off the baskets and described him as a 7-foot rabbit who walked on 2 feet upright, and his fur was purple, and that each step he took had no sound. It terrified me. Yeah, the way I think he meant to be maybe a little bit more whimsical with it, but like I'm imagining, like when I imagine the Easter Bunny, it's like a happy bunny who's big and jumps around. Not just walking, with those big ass fucking feet, just like flop, 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 like just kind of like a human casually would, just walking around, as if he's about to go to the frickin' bank, take out a loan or something. That would have scared me, especially for something being so big and it's like, and no sound when he walks. So that way you can never hear when he's coming up behind you. He often mistakes children's necks for carrots and bites them and kills them. But other than that, if you don't run into him directly, you're probably going to get a pretty good amount of chocolate. That's what my brother said to me when I was a child. It was like, well, the Easter Bunny comes in 2 ways. He either bites your neck off so you bleed out and die, viciously violent death, or you get some freaking chocolates. You get some of those mini eggs. That's what he's dropping around, Easter Bunny is very bipolar, One day he's like, candy, chocolate, flowers, and the next day he's like, if I fucking see you, I will use my 2 front teeth to bite your face off your fucking head. So don't fuck with me, okay? Don't fucking look at me! Or you're done, you're fucking done, you're done! You stupid little fucking child, they're not supposed to see me! I'm the goddamn Easter Bunny. Do you know who I fucking am? I'm the goddamn Easter Bunny. It's like, oh, okay. That's okay. We're going. But other than that, he's a very fun-loving character. Other than that, the Easter Bunny is very, very chill, very happy. But just don't ever lay eyes on him because that's good and pretty bad for you. Okay. Last one here comes from Mr. Soap again. Damn, Mr. Soap was farming up votes on this. Karma farming, bro. Excuse me. Holy crap. The next one says, my dad's saying that he could lift a car with 10 people in it. Also that he was secretly the Hulk but never transformed because he was really good at controlling his anger. I remember the next day bragging about it to kids in class and debating them the entire day how true it was and that my dad would not lie. Your dad's a firefighter? Well, that's cool. Have you ever heard of the fucking Avengers? Yeah. Yeah, the Incredible Hulk. Yeah, I know, right? That's my dad. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, the green guy. Yeah, but he's like super chill guy though. So he's tampered down. He was like an animal when he was in his 20s. In his 20s, that was a different time in his life. He was going around Hulk smashing cars, throwing aliens around. But yeah, he keeps it on the D-low now. Don't tell anybody I told you that. Little secret information. Government's looking for him, if you know what I'm saying. So. Keep that on the DL, but yeah, he's a pretty nice guy. He's a pretty nice guy when he's not massive and green and angry. So, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my God, my dad works for the CIA. Yeah. Well, my dad smashed the CIA into pieces when he was 17 years old. Yeah. He ripped apart the Pentagon like in each building by building. He ripped apart the Pentagon. Yeah, they had to get him under control. That's why he's so chill now. Okay, folks, we're gonna wrap it up for that today's episode. Thank you all so much for listening to another episode of the Red Asks Us podcast. Please leave us a rating, leave us a review. Remember, you can respond to this week's episode, and remember to go ahead and join our subreddit, r/Reddit Asks Us on Reddit. So other than that, man, peace out. Love you all. Goodbye. See y'all next.